Hi everyone, it's Dr. T from Total Wellness in New Jersey. I'm back. Hopefully you've seen some of our other videos where we've gone through some tips and strategies and ways to help you through this crisis that we're going through. Today, I'd like to talk about stress because the truth is, if you're not managing your stress well, it's going to have a negative impact on you. No matter how many other great things you're doing, if you are in a state of fight or flight most of your days, there's going to be negative consequences. So I want to talk about that and share with you some of the ways that we deal with stress in our life and ways that we talk to our patients about as well. So the first is mindset. And here's the cool thing. We have influence over that. Right? So under the umbrella of mindset, that's the first and foremost is let's focus on what we can control as opposed to what we can't control. If I'm honest, I will say that in the beginning, there were times that I was focusing so much on this lack of freedom. I felt like we weren't getting all the answers. There was a lot of confusion and anger for me, truly, in the beginning. And thankfully, with all the work I've done in personal development and learning about the brain, and I was able to quickly shift out of that and move into that space of, well, what can I control? Okay, so two things I know for sure. I can control my thoughts and I can control my physical health. So if I'm thinking thoughts that are weakening me, that are making me angry or sad or upset, I can change those thoughts to something more empowering. I have that power. You have that power. You don't let your thoughts take over. Because you could change them. So that's what I did. And I started focusing on the positives. And in general, any stress that comes into my life, mindset's number one. I always look to what's the silver lining? What's the meaning? I think there's purpose and there's meaning in everything. And so I look for that. And I can certainly already see the beautiful ways that this challenge has changed me, shaped me, clarified certain things in my life. And I can also see what it's done to the earth, right? I mean, we've probably all seen or heard of some of the beautiful ways that earth is healing and resetting itself because the whole world shut down. So where's the silver lining? Where's the lesson? What's the blessing? The healthiest, most positive people focus on those things. I personally, for myself as well, I love this quote. And it says, don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big your God is. Now, I'm not here to push my beliefs on anybody, but part of my mindset is anchoring to something bigger than me. And for me, that's God. And to anchor into that and believe, even if I can't see a way out, I will get out. There's a force greater than me that will help me through it. If I can't see the answer, I know the creative force that created everything already has the answer. I can trust in that. I can surrender to that. I can take a deep breath and just relax. I don't have to figure it all out. And so that's just some of the ways that's helped me move through this challenge with ease and a feeling of peace and calm. And if that helps you, wonderful. Another way that I do it kind of falls under the umbrella of mindset is meditation. There's no question, I am just a better human when I am in a phase of meditation. So I used to do it just one time a day, and trust me, there have been many phases of my life where I totally stopped doing it. I got out of the habit, but I used to do it one time a day. And then homeschooling started. And I realized if I am going to keep any level of sanity, I need more than that. So My schedule now is twice a day. I wake up in the morning. I do not get out of bed until I do a meditation. And then before I go to bed, I do another one. And just a few little tips on that. I've done a lot of different kinds of meditations. I've meditated personally with Deepak Chopra. Anyone who knows him, I've gone to his retreat in California. I did that, God, I don't even know, 15, 16 years ago. And he was actually where I first learned how to meditate. But then I also, I don't know if you call it certified, I don't think so, but I learned Transcendental Meditation. My husband and I did that. I think it was over a course of a weekend. I did that. We did that for a while. I'll tell you this, there's no one way. There's no one way to sit while you're meditating. There's no one way to put your hands. You don't have to ohm your way through it. Sometimes I do guided meditations if my mind is really full of chatter. Other times I just sit there and I just let the thoughts kind of leave, just flow out of me. But I love to start my meditations with some form of gratitude or prayer because that gets me out of here and into here. So if that's helpful too, take it and run with it, please. But so I'll start with a form of prayer, and then at the end of my prayer, I just remain quiet. Sometimes even in my mind, I'll think of a still lake, like as if that's my mind, and that helps me too. So meditation is very powerful. It's so powerful, and please consider it if you have not. If you want some resources on some of my favorite meditations, just ask and we'll send that along. Okay, so next up, your nervous system over time, if you are in a stress response, gets stuck. And there's two branches of your nervous system that responds and reacts to stress. And you may have heard of them. One's called your sympathetic nervous system and one's called your parasympathetic nervous system. When we have stress, whether it's sudden, unexpected, or gradual, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in. And that system was brilliantly designed way back when our ancestors had to run from tigers and bears. So when that threat was coming at them, the sympathetic nervous system kicked in, their heart raced faster, their body pumped out something called adrenaline and cortisol. The blood shunted away from the internal organs to the arms and legs so they can run. And once that threat was gone, let's say the tiger, they ran out the tiger, then the parasympathetic system kicked back in. It balanced the sympathetics. And the parasympathetic system is what you may have heard it called, our rest and digest. This is the system that is responsible for healing and repairing. But what's happening today, especially right now, but it's been for a long, long time, we get in these stress patterns, and it's as if the tiger is chasing us all day long. The tiger just never goes away. And the stress response never stops. And we get stuck in a cycle of stress. So how do we break that? So here are two really powerful ways. Meditation, I already talked about. That's one of them. Mindset, talking yourself through stress, telling yourself you will be all right. You'll make it through. You'll find a way. The answers will come. That's really important. Your self-talk is important. But here are two other ways. Chiropractic Care. It is my secret weapon. I know I'm preaching to the choir to a lot of you. If people knew what chiropractic did to the stress response, if people understood how they heal through stress and how their body resets with each chiropractic adjustment and what that does to the brain and the immune system, there'd be lines out the door. The phones wouldn't stop ringing. We wouldn't be able to see all the people. But I'm telling you, it is a secret weapon against stress. Every adjustment, study after study shows, it shuts down the sympathetics, that fight or flight, and it starts to reprogram your system into a place of ease and calm. Dr. Bruce Lipton, he still is, a molecular biologist. And one thing that he said that always struck me, and it'll never leave my mind, he said, the body cannot it is physiologically impossible to be in a state of stress and healing in the same moment. You cannot be there. So I want you to think about that. If you are a highly stressed person, or in this moment, in this place of quarantine, you are dealing with a lot of stress right now, your body's ability to heal, your immune system's capacity to fight anything, whether it's the coronavirus or anything, is greatly restricted, is greatly compromised because of that. And every adjustment you get resets the stress response, brings up the healing, and your body now has a greater ability to do what it's supposed to do and what it's designed to do, which is heal from the inside out. So powerful. If you haven't been in it a while, I hope we'll hear from you soon. If you're listening to this video and you don't live around here, you can give our office a call and we will find you an awesome chiropractor. Okay, so that's another tool that we have in our toolbox. Last one is breathing. Now, I know this might sound so simple because we just take it for granted, right? We've been breathing for a long time. We don't have to think about it. It's just a beautiful thing that the body does all on its own, our nervous system. However, most people don't truly breathe. They sniff the air. Most people aren't taking their lungs, they're not breathing, utilizing the full capacity of their lungs. There's a lot of problems with that. And one of them is that when you're not doing that, you're not getting enough oxygen. You're not oxygenating your brain. You're not oxygenating the cells of your body. You're going to be tired a lot. One of the things that prevents you from breathing that way fully is stress. When we're stressed, we tend to breathe more shallow. One of the other ways, which I'll have a whole other video on, is our posture. When we are in a slumped posture, shoulders come forward, head comes forward. Many times that's the posture we're in with technology. When we're in that posture, you can't take a full deep breath. Try that with me right now. If you're sitting, bend forward, lean your shoulders forward, bring your head even further, and try to take a deep breath. And now, sit back, bring your shoulders back, head where it's supposed to be. Take a deep breath in now. Can you see the difference? I guarantee you can. You can take a deeper breath. So be mindful of your posture. And when you do that, I want to show you something else too. You're going to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. Take a deep breath now and see which hand rises. Most likely, it's this hand, which means that you're breathing with your shoulders and your chest muscles instead of your diaphragm. So, the proper way to breathe, really important, because if you breathe properly, you activate that parasympathetic system again. You reduce that stress response and you put yourself in a really strong position to be well and stay well. So, when you breathe in, your abdomen should come out. When you breathe out, your abdomen should go back in. You want to take it another step higher to activate that healing response and that relaxation. Breathe in peace and exhale stress. And do this often. If you have to take a deep breath in and push your belly out for a while for that to become a habit, do it. Do whatever you need to do to start breathing properly and make sure all of your lungs are getting that air. So, last thing I want to say about breathing. I'd love it. Oh, I have a glass of water. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, last thing I want to say about breathing. I'm talking about different levels of breathing here. The last thing, when you breathe, think about this: 4, 6, 8. You're going to breathe in for a count of 4. You're going to hold for 6, and you're going to breathe out for 8. The most important part here is the out breath. The longer the out breath, the greater the relaxation response. All right, so just giving you some tips and tricks there when it comes to breathing. And I said that was the last one, but this is the last one. It's so cool if you could do this. This would be amazing. 3 times a day, put an alarm in your phone, something. And every time that alarm goes off, you take 10 deep breaths in the way that I just described. Even if you did that twice a day, even if you did it once a day, but don't do it once a day, at least do it twice a day, you will feel like a different person. And that's going to increase your capacity to handle the stress. That's going to take down that panic and fear. It's going to make you a better human. Like I talked about with meditation, all of these things do it. So try one, try them all. Just get going and keep moving forward in that direction of health and wellness. Stay well, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.